Hey guys, welcome back to Electrical Car Repair Live. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing to the channel. Today will be super helpful video guys to any of you having a Ford C-Max guys, Ford Fusion or Lincoln MKZ, and you want to know the symptoms of bad oxygen sensor. Now, some of you guys, may think why we mention these three cars. Actually, due to the fact that they share the same engines and transmissions. We'll be demonstrating here on a hybrid engine, but if you have a non-hybrid, the procedure is the same because oxygen sensors work exactly the same way. And on these 4-cylinder engines you have usually two oxygen sensors. One is known as upstream, one is downstream. One is super important for the engine, and if you don't replace it on time you can cause quite a bit of damage. Make sure you stay till the end, we'll explain why. Before we start, let me tell you a little bit about us guys. Every single car we get here at the garage, we try to make at least 2 to 300 free repair videos. Why we do that? Simply because our mission at the shop is to save you as much money as we can. All we need in return, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, that way we can keep making these absolutely free videos. Another thing, if you want to save quite a bit of money on car parts, tools, anything for your car guys, check out the link in the description of the video below. That's where we get all our tools and supplies from. So let's go ahead and start on it now. So let's go ahead and open the hood now, and in a little bit we're going to get a endoscope camera guys, to show you one of the sensors because it's hard to get my camera in there. Now this is the hybrid that has been used in Ford C-Max, Lincoln MKZ and Ford Fusion. If you have the non-hybrid engine, it's been used in all three cars again. Now the only difference between the hybrid and the non-hybrid is practically what you have on the right side above the transmission. Engine itself, it's not much different guys. It's a 2.0 engine. So let's go ahead and remove that upper engine cover quick. And if you look guys, that's the engine. On the front side you have the intake manifold, on the back side you have the exhaust manifold. Now if you look guys, we get the endoscope camera here on the back side where the exhaust manifold is located. Right there, perfect. That's an oxygen sensor guys, that right here. That oxygen sensor is known as upstream oxygen sensor or oxygen sensor 1 bank 1. The purpose of that sensor guys is to detect how much fuel and air you still have in the exhaust. It will send that information to the engine computer, which is located behind the bumper right here. It will calculate how much fuel the engine needs and air, so you have a balanced running engine that's efficient, not polluting, clean and powerful. So it's a win-win situation. But if that sensor is bad and you keep driving, you can actually guys cause damage to the catalytic converter, because if you're running rich, you have more gasoline in the exhaust, which can burn through the catalytic converter and burn the catalytic converter, or it may be running lean to where it's misfiring, and that can cause damages as well. Now, if that oxygen sensor goes bad guys, symptom number 1, the engine light will be on. You may have engine light and code related to an oxygen sensor, having a lean fuel mixture, or misfire codes. Quite common guys. Another thing, you may notice poor fuel economy. You will notice that the car will be using more fuel because you will not be balancing things correctly. You may lose some horsepower. On modern engines that are powerful, it's a little bit hard to notice that, but you'll notice that the fuel economy will go up. You'll use more fuel. And another thing guys, in some cases you may notice misfires in the engine, just running rough, idling rough as well. Then you have a second oxygen sensor that's known as downstream oxygen sensor or bank 1. Sensor 2, I'm talking about this sensor right here. Check it out, yep, right there. And the purpose of that sensor guys, right there, is to detect if the catalytic converter is doing its job. It's right after the catalytic converter. So that sensor can affect the engine, but not as much as the first one. This one is practically for emissions, to make sure that the catalytic converter is working, and the engine computer is using that sensor to detect that. If it goes bad, you have engine light on, and most likely code related to bad oxygen sensor bank 1 sensor 2, or having a bad catalytic converter. You may think you have a bad catalytic converter, but it's actually a bad oxygen sensor. Hopefully the video will be helpful. Thank you for watching. See you next time.